Okay, so a lot of us just grew up in church. Um, Wherever you're Baptist, Seventh Day Evangelists, or however you call it, Mormon, something along those lines. A lot of us grew up, especially in the United States, following some form of Christianity, which is derived from the whole entire other religion, right? With that being said, though, I feel like that it's lost its course. Now, I'm not going to get into the history of Christianity and all this other kind of stuff. I'm just going to talk about this particular individual right here, Marvin Winans. I'm not really that familiar with him because I separated myself from the church a long time ago because I didn't agree in the direction that a lot of it was going into. I saw a lot of hypocritical behaviors and how it was more about the glory of the pastor, not the glory of God. That's just me in a brief summary of my separation from myself in the church itself. However, though, I did grow up in the church. My grandfather was a pastor. My uncle's a pastor. I have prophets, all kinds of stuff. It's very intertwined with my lifestyle, at least as a young adult as it was, right? So even though I do not go and support churches, I do know there are some good pastors out there. I do know there are some people that are very kind and compassionate, and they use the church to help them, to help others. But in this particular case, I found it pretty disgusting, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Now I'm going to play the viral video that went around, and then we can go ahead and talk about it a little further and give my opinions on it. So let's go ahead and play this clip.
I, Roberta McCoy, given faith and stand in unity with the vision of perfecting church of sowing this seed of $1,000 plus
And you see how big and smiling he is at first?
$235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participated.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000,
Okay. Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
well, that ain't what I asked you to do.
Now, growing up, and this is just a little personal story. Now, growing up, I seen people, especially like, for example, my grandmother. She had very nice dresses, big hats, and I was dressed up in nice suits and all this other kind of stuff. All the time, we're broke in a roach and rat infested house that we were renting at the time, and we're sitting here buying nice suits, dresses, and hats, and giving what money we really didn't have to a church. Keep in mind that same church, you're giving all these tithes and offerings, but you still got to pay them if a family member passes for them to uh, preach or do a eulogy at that family members. You see what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense. And I get it. They say that tithes, or the tenth, the tithe, is an offering of showing appreciation to God, right? But tithes doesn't equal money. Tithes is supposed to be offering goods and services, at least from my understanding of it, goods and services to help the community, to help the poor. And you rarely see that anymore. You don't see churches with food banks or clothing drives anymore. It's all about profit. You don't even see them try to feed people anymore. Instead, you see them more selling plates to gain more money. I just can't wrap my head around that. I have a very giving heart, and I know sometimes having a giving heart can make you foolish, but at the exact same time, if you are if you're supposed to be a direct communication to Christ, help interpreting the word, spread his message, and on bringing them God and all this other kind of stuff, you will need to have a foolish heart to help all the people. With that being said, and I'm trying not to get too emotional on this video because, we are in hard times right now, right? It doesn't matter how much money you make. Everybody's, for the most part, is 1 or 2 paychecks away from being homeless. That's just the reality of the world right now. So when you see a man that's worth millions of dollars, that belittling a woman, and I can't tell that's her son or grandson, at a church because she didn't bring the proper amount at the right time, is unacceptable. Now I understand that wasn't a tithe; that was off. That was an offering. Offerings and tithes are two completely different things. But a lot of these pastors and preachers and all these other kind of stuff, these mega churches, a lot of their money comes from your offerings. So anytime you give them any money, that's going in part to their bank account. And a lot of time those pastors and stuff like that, they have nicer houses, nicer cars than you. They don't got to pay taxes because of their job and where they live at. I mean, heck, they could even have a home built on a church land. It's just all kinds of craziness that goes on here. And this man, who's a multi-millionaire, keep that in mind, is sitting here talking down to a woman. And yeah, the sure church laughed and kind of played it off a little bit. But for him to talk down to a woman like that was an embarrassment. And I could tell that he lost the point of being a pastor. He's more fame and money hungry. You don't believe me? Okay. I'll prove up a little bit of evidence here in a minute. But outside of on the offerings that help pay his salary, how else does he get paid? Speaking engagements. Speaking engagements that he charges $10,000 plus. Now I understand that he's part of a famous church family that, sells gospel music and all this other kind of stuff, but let's be 100% clear here. He's eating off that church and those people's money. And I guarantee you, just like how I was when I was growing up, a lot of those people, they're worrying about, hell, $1,200 is more than some people's weekly or bi-weekly paychecks. I'll say bi-weekly. Yeah, that's more than a lot of people bi-weekly paychecks. People can barely afford to eat, to drink water, to shower, to buy clothes and food. And he's sitting here with a big old smile on his face. He thinks he's going to get about $2,000. But once he saw it was just a little bit less. You saw that disappointment come over his face. And that really pissed me off. It doesn't matter if that woman offered $1,000. Let's say she didn't follow your instructions like you wanted to. And I'll get into that video in a minute. It's just the point that she did something. And this woman is sitting here saying that she was trying to get the blessings that come with it. And instead of saying that she will get the blessings from it, you criticize her for not having enough money, that she didn't listen to instructions. Nah. So, and this to go over a little bit. What is a tithe? A tithe is supposed to be a tenth, ideally, of what you can afford to give to help the community, right? An offering is something you give generously from your heart. That there's not a set dollar amount for. So the fact that he added a dollar amount to a offering is complete BS. It's complete BS. Because at the end of the day, the Lord doesn't care about how much you give. He cares about what's in your heart. But I get it. I really do get it though, right? I'm sorry, I made some notes here because I knew I was going to get a little upset about this particular topic because of my history with the church and everything else. And again, I'm not a man that's going to talk down on that, but but let's do this. I will go ahead and talk a little bit about that more here in a moment. And if you're still watching, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you. How do you feel about this whole entire situation? Because churches in general are just not doing the Lord's work anymore, in my opinion. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and give an example of Mark 12:41. The widow's two small coins were worth more in God's eyes than a large sum given by wealthy because she gave her heart. Again, offerings are voluntary. Any amount, expression of love, gratitude, and faith. It has nothing to do with whatever BS amount you want to set aside. So let's go ahead and watch this video, the full context of it, so people have better understanding, right?
We're going to do this a couple of ways. Those that have the 1,000 plus 1, that means you're coming with your 1,000 that you're giving, plus you've asked someone else to give. Now, you don't have to stop at 1,000, and we're going to deal. So in other words, if you say, Pastor Winans, I'm coming with my 1,000 plus another 3,000, then you'll say that. You understand? And if you didn't get plus 1, but you maybe came with $250, you're going to come say that this is my 1,000 plus 250. You with me? And we're going to go all the way down. So I need you, in order for this to work, I need you to come when you're called with the offering that you're bringing.
Again, with the offering that you are bringing. And offerings are not a set amount, but what you can give by love. It does not matter what little BS number you put on it. If an offering is coming from love, you should be showing love when you're receiving that offering and making sure you accept it humbly and bless them back. What you did shows that you are not about the church or Christ anymore. It shows that you are more about your own greed. And let's go ahead and watch the rest of this video.
Roberta McCoy, giving faith and stand in unity with the vision of perfecting church of sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participated.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do.
Yeah, that was some BS. There is no excuse for this. And, you know, I'm so sick and tired of these pastors acting like they know better than everybody else. Just like the other guy, I can think of his name right now, the lock the doors guy. You know, whether you believe, like, I don't disrespect people's religions at all, right? But I also don't play them either. And, you know, and that's why I never like when somebody says, I pray for you. I don't know what you're praying for. I don't know what your faith is like. I don't know anything about you, so don't pray for me. Because you could be praying to the wrong God. This man right here is praying to the money God. He doesn't give a care about Christ or Jesus. If he did, he wouldn't even be saying that stuff. He would have accepted that humbly. That smile would have never left his face. Freaking charlatan. But let's go ahead and just look at the internet right quick. Let me start here. Remember how I said that he's worth millions of dollars? Let's see. Estimated net worth in their time, $5 million. Estimated net worth 2025 adjusted for inflation, $7.2 million. A pastor is worth. Why would a pastor be a multimillionaire? That doesn't seem suspicious to you? You know he's friends with Tyler Perry too, so keep that in mind. You see Wiley's album, solo album, Grammy Awards. Again, gospel is not my category of music I listen to. I don't know. But any man that's worth $7.2 million thinks it's okay to be ungrateful for an offering, because an offering does not have a set dollar amount. It's full of it. Oh, he's divorced too. So he's the leader of a pastor of a church worth $7.2 million and divorced. How does that work? I would never take any advice from a divorced pastor. Now, this is the Instagram I went to. I found two, actually. One was saying that he retweeted a article about investing in Tesla. I'm not sure this one is really his, because with this one, it has less subscribers. You click on it, it takes you to a YouTube page where it has some of his music on there. It could be his, maybe not, I'm not sure. But I bet you that YouTube is monetized also. But on the other Instagram, it's more up to date. It has, or it's not really up to date. It's on here, but then it has 73,000 followers, and it has a link to his website, theperfectingchurch.org. All right, I know my internet's not slow. I don't know why that's not. Hang on, I was just on the website a minute ago. There we go. I guess it's mega church being built still. Let me see. About us. Our pastor. Our ministries. Academy to Perfection, audio department, catering department, church children, Dorcas Society, drama department, education department. I'm kind of curious, all these services. I mean, goodness. Security department, transportation department. This is a full-on city or town. I mean, he has everything you need except for healthcare. Well, I take that back. Health and fitness department. Never seen a church with a health and fitness department, but okay. I bet you this website was done for free. They didn't pay the person who did it. Let's see what's going on with events. Prayer, morning Bible study, youth Bible study, KOK rehearsal, even Bible study, band rehearsal. So nothing for the community, it seems like. Let's just go for the month. Let's see here. Praise and worship, dance, perfect praise, door cries, new membership class, praise. I'm kind of curious about a membership fee for this church. Holy Ghost. How do you have a Holy Ghost class? What is it? It's going to be an interpretation of how you speak in tongues? I don't. All right, anyways. Become a member. You just can't walk in and be a member. That's how it was back in the day. Date, name, address, email, phone number, date of birth. That's a lot of information. Signature, on-site. Yeah, I'm not going to fill that out. E-store. So this is a full-on business. Oh, give online. All right, Pastor Winans, what are you giving online? Oh, by check. I guess that's the cash out symbol. Text, credit card, PCD or PC Detroit Zelle. Oh, Zelle. Okay, ML. So you can find a way to give to this church. Coming soon, Bible, apparel, books, and more. So he's going to sell his own version of the Bible. Or he's going to resell the Bible. Oh, he's all over the covers on here. Like I said, this is not about God. It's about him. Yeah. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't like these fake spiritual leaders. Anyways, you know what's kind of interesting is that a lot of these pastors and stuff, they are some of the biggest whores on God's green earth. I swear. You always hear about the pastor messing around with somebody's wife, or the freshly turned 18-year-old girl there, and everybody excuses they make, and he has so much. They give the pastors so much leeway, and they are so unaccountable that it's insulting and embarrassing, to be honest with you. But you guys tell me what you think if you watched and dropped in. Like, comment, subscribe, of course. But I just wanted to show this. I wanted to get more context of the video that shows that he did tell people what he wanted to do. But when it comes to offerings and it comes to church in general, it doesn't matter. It's an offering. It comes from love. It comes from grace. And not everybody is able to offer anything. He should have had that same smile on his face when he was trying to get that 1,000 plus 1 or 1,000 plus 3 to somebody who just could have gave $10. It doesn't matter. And the fact that he didn't show that is shameful and embarrassing. And things like this, when I see things like this, makes me want churches to be taxed. Because I guarantee you that $7 million that he has, he didn't pay not one bit of taxes on it. But anyways, you guys tell me what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.